3. Hello there, and welcome to another edition of Very Easy League presented by Metal Gear Speedrunners. We have our last Week 10 matchup and our last race of the calendar year, but not the season. Plywood versus Tyler2022. I am D-Limes. I will be on commentary with Joseph Joestar316, aka Long Name Joe. How you doing, dude?
Hey, doing well. It's nice to get this anticipated match in. No, it's definitely gonna be interesting to watch. That's for sure. All right, and away they go.
So, Plywood and Tyler, two veterans of this community in general. Plywood much newer to the very easy category, but not to MGS2. Tyler, one of the old schoolers to MGS2 on very easy, European extreme, and every other difficulty in between. Plywood has been on a tear as of late. He has a 5-3 record right now, trying to get a top 4 seed come playoff time. Meanwhile, Tyler on the outside looking in early. He is currently sitting 9th in the playoff standings. Top 8 make the playoffs. Really could use a win here to solidify his playoff position. It wouldn't eliminate him with a loss, but it would be pretty bad for his playoff hopes.
Yeah, and I guess as you're going over that, I was just kind of sweating a little bit on that alert Plywood had going up those stairs. You know, it's you definitely don't want the SWAT team to kick you, but I think as long as you get up quick enough, it should be fine. But it's actually kind of funny, like watching this, like how synced this is, especially with the use of the rapid fire turbo. Where you could just match your codecs and cutscenes nearly at the speed of light just by holding down a button or two. It's pretty remarkable. So for Olga, they both get a left.
Wow.
Plywood gets the
early shot.
And wait, I lost Tyler's feed.
We add him back. Okay. It's fine. It was weird. Discord being Discord, so.
All right, but yeah, that was an interesting left that Plywood got, and it was. I have
well, they both end pretty much at the same time, so got there in different ways, but they're virtually in sync now.
All right, I got them both added again. Thank you, Discord.
Yeah, Discord's been a little funky all day long, but it happens.
Just like that, they're synced again. I mean, with, let's see, Tyler just maybe like half a second or a second ahead, which is, you know, as we both know, is not really nothing, but it's still practically like anybody's race. But
Plywood with the miss menu, so he had to re-menu to the USP. Very minor. I will say that Tyler is not using turbo. He has not configured it or caring to use it, so he'll be at a slight disadvantage over Plywood, but he can still, with his skill and talent, win this race.
Yeah, I mean, I just find it personally, it helps with a lot of the like busy stuff, you know, and especially if there's like a long series of cutscenes and there's definitely a hefty amount of codecs to just mash through. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how they handle this engine room. I would imagine they're both going for the swag strat.
Oh, Tyler screwed it up. He dropped down.
I was about to say that looked like he didn't mean to do that. But
no, he was definitely going to go for the swag strap, but he was just a little too far over. So, gonna lose some time here for sure because Plywood will not get the cutscene.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to do the single ledge versus the swag, you know, double level drop. It just allows you to skip this cutscene, you know, normally when a guard comes in after they fix the door. So as you can see, Tyler just has to tap through it, and just like that, I mean, they're still in each other's heels.
Monka?
Yes, very Monka on that shot. Took the words out of my mouth.
Close early, but there's still some elements of Tanker that can definitely separate the players. We have Guard Rush and then the elusive holds, which we've seen so many issues throughout League.
I don't know, the holds just scare the hell out of me. I don't know what it is about it.
Man,
maybe it's just because of the fact that if you get caught, that you get sent right back to the beginning of the room you were in.
Yep.
Let's see. Well, very nice shot from both of them.
Yep. Both of them avoiding the alert, which is definitely key. Tyler had to retreat a little bit for that ammo, but
Yeah, it
that's
looks
going
like
to
he missed
give
the pickup.
slight edge for Plywood going into guard rush.
All
See how
right,
they fare.
so guard rush, here we go. So I imagine both starting with the USP to carry it through, or actually Plywood intermixing it with the M9, which is interesting. And oh no, Tyler missed the guy at the left.
That was
Oh, that's gonna
picture
cost.
perfect from Plywood. Very, very nice. This is really bad from Tyler.
Yeah, when a guard gets off to the side, or sometimes if you don't get the guard all the way in the back, they'll go through this like aim for the lights animation, what briefly gives them iframes where you cannot shoot them until they are done. It's a couple seconds time loss just because of that, but yeah,
All right.
Plywoods, yeah,
Good
early
landing
lead.
glitch. Good flick shot. Stop for a moment, but that's fine. Oh,
Oh no,
Tyler
Tyler,
can't.
he's doing the. Oh, he did the one buffer. He was trying to do it two. It looked like.
He lost about 3 seconds with the kerfuffles.
See,
Good
also
flick
getting the
shot.
flick.
Oh, he's doing the risky
See.
thing. Yikes.
Yeah, I love seeing the domino roll, but yes, that is incredibly risky.
Yep, good domino roll. I would going for 2-spot photos, I would imagine, just doing it in reverse. Tyler going for the more traditional hold-up strat and hold 2. Gets it cleanly. I don't think he equipped the camera, though. No, he did. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say that third picture that Plywood took looked a little sus. I mean, I think he took another one to make sure he got it. Because it looked like he aimed it a little bit high to capture the Marines logo if you do the 2-spot. Okay,
Good
so he did
photos.
get it.
Yep, good photos.
So I guess early lead to Plywood, which again, even with the kerfuffles that happened, it's still anybody's game. I mean, it was relatively, I guess maybe except the guard rush, but like a relatively decent tinker out of both of the runners.
It's about an 11-second gap right now, but it's really not much in the grand scheme of things, especially with even bomb disposal coming up. We're gonna see conveyor belt route out of Plywood for sure, where he goes counterclockwise and picks up a couple of cardboard boxes along the way, and then rides the conveyor belt to teleport to different rooms. Tyler's going to do the more consistent yet traditional strat of going clockwise, not getting boxes involved, which conveyor belt can save time if you do it super optimally. Problem is, Plywood likes it, and he does it consistent, but it's slow. He probably loses around 5 seconds every time he does conveyor belt. So I think Tyler does have an opportunity to gain some time if he has a good bomb disposal.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering, one is using turbo and the other one is not, which it's not going to really count anyone out directly off the bat, but it is going to help, let's say gain a little bit seconds here and there just from, codecs and cutscenes. But as you can see, Plywood going back for the M9, which is underneath that little shelf there. Somebody left their M9 there just to be like, hey, you can pick this up while you wait for the elevator, because turns out you actually can do this while waiting for the elevator. Some just troll with the guards, and Plywood getting stuck in that corner, but he still has time.
There's somebody there.
It's like Tyler's going for the same thing. Oh, he's going to get the extra ammo just for the memes. Oh, just one pack. He missed the other pack. It's all just memes at the end of the day.
Yeah, because by picking up the M9 this early at the docks, it'll get you.
That's yep. Oh wow, wow! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
If he would have gotten an alert, the elevator would not have moved. So very, very fortunate there.
Oh man, I definitely felt my heart race on that one. I'm not even running.
That's a nice meme,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I might do that to start to scare people when I do runs.
What, the brief alert just
Yeah,
dashing
just
into the elevator at the last
pretty-
second?
Yep. I like that. That's funny.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's like, saying, yeah, I'm Twin Sinks, I'm gonna roll into the elevator just to save a frame. I mean,
Pretty much.
all right, well, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, as you can see, Plywood now making into Strut B, and he's unequipping his M9 just before entering Strut B, which starts a series of codecs and cutscenes, which is part of a menu trick setup where if you ended the tanker as Snake with the USP equipped and your M9 on your secondary previous, doing the same thing here, why by unequipping the M9 before going into strut B, making it all the way to Stillman, it'll allow you to instantly re-equip the M9, which is already on your secondary previous. And wait, did Tyler just re-equip his M9? It looked like he did. Yeah, I
I
don't think
didn't.
he's gonna.
Yeah, if he did, like, if you tap R2 at all between Pliskin and Stillman, then you lose that menu trick. So he might have. I didn't see it, but he might have.
But yeah, but I think it was like, how many hours was it to discover this like menu trick?
I mean, me and Apache like signs this out for at least a few hours one day, and all in all, it saves like 0.2 of a second. You just save a menu, so. But that's what this category is.
You know, I mean, it's so optimized that even something that's like 0.2, 0.3, you know, anything that saves you time, you know, is just worth going after. So yeah, as you said, Plywood's going for the counterclockwise box conveyor route. Tyler going to the right for the standard clockwise bomb route, and yep, he definitely. Yeah, see those are the extra menus I was concerned about because
Yep.
I think he might have tapped R2 by accident, but yeah, at this point it's I think like you said it's early advantage to Plywood. I think it's kind of, at least in bomb defusal, it's kind of his to lose, unless if Tyler just has like a really clean bomb defusal.
Oh,
Just,
get out the.
I'm just gonna be quiet for a while.
Just
Commentators curse.
Monka S early on, yeah, he just stepped on the hatch and instead and couldn't open it, but we really won't know for sure what the lead is for either one until they meet in strut A heading towards Fortune due to the different bomb disposal route. But yeah, it's still an advantage to Plywood early on, pending some weird large mistake, which it can happen on conveyor belt. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially in this room where you have to crawl through so many pipes, do so many coolant rises, not only here, but also to pick up a cardboard box. And he's having trouble with the
Too
position.
far away with the bomb. Oh.
That's going to cost a couple seconds.
Yeah, he was trying to defuse that bomb through the pipe, which if you stand just above the white painted line on the floor and you're hugging the right, I guess, greenish pipe, and not even a half a step over, it's a very thin window to have the coolant spray reach the bomb and just defuse it from there rather than crawling all the way over. And now he's getting the oh, okay, I think he was having yeah, he was getting a little ahead of himself with trying to get over the boxes there, or the step. But that's the first of, what was it, 2 boxes, right?
Yep. He'll pick up 2. The other one's easy to pick up. It's just sitting there. But yeah, that's one of the hardest rooms in conveyor belt because of all the things you have to do in that room. And that's a prime example of why conveyor belt is utter trash.
BMN's watching. He's just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Hey man, to each their own, but I don't agree with that. Man, he got down there really early. That was like as early as possible. Tyler's on the EF bridge where the Claymore mines are. He opts to play it safe, not pick up a Claymore or anything. Plywood's about to get to that bridge now, where he'll probably pick up the Claymore mine here.
Yeah, there's actually like a bunch of things you can do. One is like, you know, you go around it to avoid the mine. You could do the cartwheel roll into a pickup, or you could do like a damage cancel. I think it's called, where you just like walk ever so carefully. You could just trigger the mine to blow up without you touching it exactly, or just get hit by it.
Yeah, a la the Tino, basically, is what we call it. So, because one of the early pioneers are doing that, and he still can do it fairly well to this day. So, shout outs to Tino for sure. Another fellow league member.
Like I thought there was like another thing that Tino was known for, which I don't know if we want to get into that.
Yeah, maybe when we get to that area, we'll maybe mention something. We'll see. We'll see. Tyler's really far away. Okay, he gets it. So they both had trouble with Strut A Bomb, but I think Tyler came out a little bit better on that. I think Plywood still has an advantage.
I was just reading Tino's comment, but yeah, I mean, I think they both messed up on the Strut A pump room bomb. Just it's getting that position right consistently and getting the coolant rise, very efficiently. It can be really tough. It's so easy to mess it up, and then before you realize you're already too close, too far away, or you're not even in the right spot. Like you're already losing seconds. So here's
Yep.
Plywood going for the conveyor step up, which he did get. Interesting how he uses the M9. I'm assuming that laser is just like a point reference where to aim the camera for like
Yeah,
first person view camera.
yeah, it's a pretty easy and consistent way to get up there. Just a nice visual cue. The problem is the time it does take to line yourself up and get up there. You are losing time over a traditional bomb clockwise route. So doing that. So that's why I say to Plywood, like, you want to grind for a really good time, you may want to ditch the conveyor belt route as much as you like it. But that's just me.
I mean, I could definitely see, advantages to doing this over the standard layout, but it does add more obstacles in your way just to keep it either competitive or to be slightly ahead of your opponent, because it can definitely backfire, especially if you either have trouble getting the boxes quickly or just even getting up the conveyor belt fast enough just to make it worth it.
And one small thing of note, Tyler went for the sensor then defused the bomb, which is actually an old way of doing this room. It was discovered about 6 months ago that if you do it in reverse, you save a little bit of time because you don't get this little delay out here when you get this codec. Saves about a second if you defuse the bomb, then pick up the sensor. So it's just old muscle memory kicking in for Tyler, so not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, maybe sometimes it could be, because again, we always go to the score screen for VE League matches. So some people might think, oh, can it be an RTA advantage if it looks like you're getting, to the docks first? But while that may be true in some cases, it's always down to the IGT. And wow, just like that, Plywood's already on the elevator.
Yeah, so he has more than a room advantage for sure. He probably extended his lead throughout that conveyor belt route, so not too bad. Not too bad. But still relatively close early on. I mean, still a lot can happen.
Yeah, I mean, it could take, a lot of things, which, we both know there's plenty of them. I mean, it's, the bomb defusal is just, the beginning of what's to come, especially with, past matchups I've had where, I've had a relatively good start and then just, biffing the fortune setup. It's like sometimes that's all it takes to like shift the lead, and we've seen that countless times.
Yeah, so fortune fight coming up. The most important thing you have to do at the start is a punch buffer. That way fortune can shoot the forklift, shoot the lights, and then eventually shoot you.
Oh, Tyler got up too early on that bomb. Oof. Yeah,
If you don't do this setup that Plywood is doing, you could lose 10, 20, 30 seconds because Fortune can just do random stuff.
Yeah, so the whole, and I think you explained this, was like you position yourself in that room so that the forklift gets destroyed immediately, which is part of a weird script where, the forklift, the boxes, and the two golden barrels on the left and right sides of the room, they gotta go. Which is, on paper, it's meant to kind of preemptively set up the end of her fight, where she would normally shoot both of the barrels and then shoot the ceiling several times before the fight actually ends. So it's not an auto-scroller as you might think, but rather we're just doing things to minimize the variance, which, okay, probably got a little unlucky with getting shot. I mean, that can happen, but she did follow it up with a barrel hit. So, looked like a Good fortune for Plywood. I don't think I saw either one get like extra dialogue or anything.
Yep, pretty good from
Wow.
Plywood.
Wow, Fortune did the exact same thing to Tyler that she did to Plywood. That's funny. Oh, I gotta hate her. Alright, so Tyler now just ending his Fortune fight.
Yep, fair.
Let's see, Plywood.
He had to retreat. All right. Well, he
Yeah,
didn't
that's
get
gonna
blown
cost
up.
him some time.
Yeah, lost about a second and a half there, but getting blown up loses you 3, so still a net positive over getting blown up.
Yeah, it's like you could pick the chaffs up there, just being very delicate about the claymores being there. You can go around them just like what Tyler did.
Yep.
You can also acquire them on the BC connecting bridge, although it loses you time because you have to go a little bit out of your way to pick them up and then keep going. Or you can go the risky boy strat of picking up no chaffs.
Now,
It just
oh, sorry, I was going to say, Fat Man coming up, we'll see lethal from Tyler, barring something drastic. We're going to see non-lethal from Plywood. He was practicing this a little bit before this match started. Ooh,
oh no,
Tyler,
the double
no.
KO.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, you hate to see that.
So, we'll see if Plywood can pull this non-lethal off.
Yeah, I was about to say it looked like he was gearing up for what could be a non-lethal fight, and then Tyler doing the mind pickup. Ooh, yeah, interesting angle, but hey, it gets the job done. But
I think
yeah,
he's
this
going to
could
do
definitely.
the Ed Boy setup where you do a cartwheel into Fat Man at the start. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
All right, so as Tyler makes his way up to Fat Man Plywood. Oh, he is
Yep.
doing the Ed Boy setup.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. And he got the fast bomb defuse on the first. That was the second
That's
and
really
the third
good.
bomb.
That's really good.
Tyler too far away in that first bomb, so that's gonna lose him a little bit of time, but let's see what he goes for. He's doing lethal. Oh, so he's doing the I guess like the older setup.
Yeah, he's doing the
Where you defuse the
1974
bomb.
setup, yeah.
Yeah, you defuse the bomb first, knock him down, get 2 hits.
Ooh, bad
Oh, he got
RNG.
bad RNG.
Oh,
Oh, and he's between the pole.
Wow,
What?
you can't have any worse luck. Like, what the heck was that? And he's far away.
Oh, and he got the slow bomb again.
So
Oh,
he lost
jeez.
probably 15 seconds against Plywood on that fight. That's ridiculous. This is
Man, I could feel the frustration with that Fat Man fight if that happened to me. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? The freaking pole. That was some goofy stuff that happened, but that's just part of the risk with Fat Man is not really what he does at the beginning, but what he does after he gets knocked over. Which is why I really like the revised lethal version, which you would not defuse the bomb first, but rather lure him in for a single hit, swap over to the bomb, then get the second hit, and it kind of gives you not really less unlikelihood that you're going to get bad movement RNG, but I feel like it puts him in a better spot.
And I want to point out that Plywood used D-pad on the EF bridge, which is what everybody should do all the time, 100% of the time. Very, very good from Plywood.
And I'll just say analogers for life.
No.
Yes.
No. No. It's dumb.
Okay,
Like
a little late menu on the AK for Plywood, but I mean, I would imagine, if not both, but I think.
Tyler!
Oh,
He hit a
Tyler,
mine!
no!
I think he went analog. And he's just gonna take the death.
No.
Oh, man. I think he went to do analog and screwed it up, and that's why you don't do analog. Oh, man, you hate to see it.
Yeah, you do. So Plywood's doing the Claymore setup, where
Tyler
you
did
take the
D-pad,
Claymore.
very good. Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's only a matter of time before, you play with fire with the EF connecting bridge and you get burned. But anyways, you take the Claymore that was acquired on the EF connecting bridge, detonate it intentionally as you get the elevator down to B2. It triggers an alert, which keeps the door open for enough time to go in the room, get the D-Mite, come back, and just pending, your timing, you can still get through with plenty of time and then still get up there without having to call it back a second time. All right, aims. Let's see. I predict
Southwest.
southeast. All right, let's see what happens.
You do the
Oh,
pause
he's doing
buffer.
the
Very
pause
nice.
buffer.
Yep.
So I guess explain like what the pause buffer is.
So when you pause, the in-game timer stops. So it's northwest, but since he pause buffered, he didn't lose that much time. So you can get a quick peek around the room, whether you do it the way Plywood did, and then you can eventually look in first-person view. So if you pause, the timer just stops. So you can make a calculated decision. Okay, do I go south? Do I go west? Normally, under non-pause buffer, northwest would be the worst. But in this case, since Plywood looked at the start down the little corridor...
Oh, Tyler got the slow boys guard.
Yeah,
I think he knocked too late on the wall.
He's gonna just lose a lot of time there. Nice one bullet to the guard.
Oh yeah, it's trying to like conserve that AK ammo for later, which again, even though it's very easy, I mean there is going to be some sections later in the run where the AK is going to be essential.
All right, let's
All right,
see.
Tyler getting his aim. So I think I said southeast and you said southwest.
Yeah, that was nope, it's gonna be 2 northwest aims.
Wow, what are the odds of that? Which is also unfortunate for Tyler because not only did he get northwest like Plywood did, but he did not pause buffer, so he lost time having to scan the room.
Yep, and he did not take the BDU off either, so which also loses time.
Yeah, it's like something to do with like, and I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you have the BDU equipped in certain areas of the game, it's like it takes slightly longer to load. Like it's just something to do with the rendering of what the BDU versus the sneaking suit.
Yeah,
maybe the game just hates the BDU.
It's stuff with cutscenes, basically, because if you enter with the BDU in the shell, going into shell 2, that's a pretty big problem, especially on console. You can lose like 20 seconds plus if you enter with the BDU on. It's ridiculous. It's only a couple seconds on PC, but it matters.
Yeah, I was sorry to cut you off, but I was just about to say that was very monk-ass on the elevator from Tyler. He was just barely able to get up there with that alert.
Yep, got shot and everything, but nonetheless.
All right, so the next task on the list is getting the PSG-1 sniper rifle, which then is followed by probably I don't know what's the best word for it, either the most influential fight in the run, although it can be, but the Harrier.
Probably the biggest impact, yeah, on most runs, in most races. So you have the underrated sensors to start with, and then you have the Harrier fight itself, which there's a few different ways to do that. First and foremost, don't blow up the bridge. Looks like Plywood's going to be alright with that. So, Plywood's going to do a newer setup. It's the 3+5 setup. 3 shots at the start, and then 5 more shots as the Harrier's coming back towards you. It's somewhat inconsistent compared to a 5+1, but see if he can do it. So, good 3 shots to start with. You don't want to do too much damage. If you do too much damage, then you can't get him into this little flyover phase.
Alright, so that's 1. He's got 2, and then the flyover, which he got. Wow, it's looking good for Plywood.
Oh, he's got the extra shot. Very nice.
Wow.
Yep, perfect. Sometimes that last shot you won't need. He just had a really low damage shot on his 8th shot and had to fire a 9th, but very good. Doesn't get much better than that.
So that kind of bypasses the die shots if it all goes well, doesn't it? No,
Tyler!
No! Oh, no.
Rip. A Rooney.
Oh, man, you hate to see that. I was about to say something about the bridge before both of these guys got there. I'm glad I didn't say it then, but that
was Monk-ass again. He nearly did it again.
Oh man, he almost did that exact same shot again, But yeah, throughout this league, we have seen the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge blow up, and as a matter of fact, we've even seen it blow up from both runners.
All right, let me cut you off because he's got PSG1 on right now. If he goes to equip that, he's in trouble to start this. Okay, he knew.
Oh yeah, I think
he
he
knew.
realized it.
Okay, that could have been really bad. And
So
this is going to be high damage. That's too early on the +1. It's not going to hit. Yep. So, not a perfect carrier. He'll get... Yeah, he got both of his die shots, so...
Yeah, so what you saw there, what we call the die shots, is when the Harrier flies overhead to drop these, like, I don't know, missiles, carpet bombs, whatever you call it. And if you time the cutscene skip just as you see the missile pods drop, you can get one and as well as a second shot as a follow-up to do damage as the Harrier's flying above you. But... man, what an interesting turn of events. I mean, Plywood is going fairly steady, and you know, okay, he made the leap of faith, so I didn't want to say anything. But yeah,
I don't
so
blame you.
You know, but I mean, again, you know, these things happen all the time. I mean, I know what it's like to be on either side of this situation, you know, and it's, you know, but at least for now, you know, the scary part's over. But now the interesting that's going to be coming up is whether or not if we're going to see any swim glitches, which, you know, they're definitely both capable. Now it's just a matter of if you're in Plywood's shoes, knowing if he has his eye out for what Tyler's up to, or if he's not really minding what he's doing, but rather if he's trying to go for PB strats, would he swim glitch regardless of where he's at, even though he's fairly enough ahead just to swim normally? Whereas Tyler would have to... Oh, Tyler, what's he... Oh,
I'm not sure what. I think he was maybe watching something else, maybe playing another game or something. I'm not sure. So it's just...
But yeah, I mean, Plywood has the options right now. I mean, he could swim glitch it, but he could also opt to play it safe. Which
I think he will. I think he will swim glitch. I think he wants to go for a PB and he good adjustment on the Nikita. Yeah, outside of some small stuff, Plywood's having a really good run. He had a great tanker. He had great guard rush. He had a great fat man, good Harrier. It's been pretty good to this point. This is definitely PB worthy.
Yeah, I mean, without looking at the splits, I mean, you can just sort of have that feeling like where the run could be. I mean, it kind of varies. Like, you know, I'll run with splits just to kind of see where I should be. Some people opt to just run without them on, just not adding extra pressure. But I would imagine we'll probably see a swim glitch definitely out of Tyler. I mean, I don't think he has a choice at this point. Plywood, on the other hand, I mean, if he's going for PB strats, he's going to do it. If he's just going to say, you know what, I'm not going to risk it.
Oh, he missed the Nikita, Tyler. Yeah. Just flicked too early.
Yeah, the Nikita hitbox is deceptively small, like, as you swim over it. I tend to just swim low to the floor just to pick it up and then flick with the right analog stick to swim 180. You actually can do it without having to lower yourself onto the floor, and I don't know if firing off that SOCOM from Plywood was an indicator, hey, I'm doing the glitch.
That's like becoming a thing. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely doing it for sure.
Yep, he's saying, you know what, I'm ahead, but I'm going to do it anyway, and he's struggling to get up there.
Nope, he's got to do another cycle. Oh,
yeah, so
God.
Oh,
this is abandon time. Yep, he's just going to abandon it.
Yeah, he's going to ditch.
And that's probably going to be it for PB. I don't think he can PB off of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, what else consists in his run for, like, what's on, like, PB range for him. Like, if it's either something in the end game. I mean, for me, it's always, like, tied to either the Harrier and the swim glitch.
Well,
it seems to be those for me.
Yeah, it depends on where he's at right now as far as his splits are concerned, because he did PB last night, and he lost 10 in Jejunum, a few at Tengu 2, and he lost like another 10 at Solidus. So he has a lot of time save at end game, depending on his current split situation, which we don't know.
Apparently Snake took those photos, but I tend to disagree. I think he fired those stingers so fast that it froze.
I know. I was like, what happened? Oh man.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just Discord being Discord again, but I think it was you could use the turbo to just spam the stingers in the water, making sure it lands away from Vamp. You let the splash damage do the work. But yeah, I think maybe it was just so much firepower that the game just barely could contain it. I
Yep.
don't know.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's a good explanation.
All right, so while Plod meets up with Emma, Tyler is playing it safe.
Yeah, just I don't blame him too much. Like, it's a tall order to come back anyway, but I mean, yeah, I don't blame him. Just
Yeah,
gonna
I mean, there's
ride this one out and finish.
yeah, because once you get to like certain parts of the run, I mean, there's really not a lot left. Although it's not right to say like there's nothing at all that can sway it, because I mean we've seen close matches throughout this league. We've had a tiebreaker, we've had a 4-second and a 7-second, or maybe it was 8 seconds off of like finish times. But for now, it's just dragging Emma back over to Stradell. Which between then and Arsenal Gear isn't going to provide enough to... Okay, I thought my feed on Tyler's also froze when he was spamming at the water. It's like something about Vamp's just lagging it.
Yeah, it doesn't lag the game, it just lags our feeds now. It's like Tyler's having some frame issues.
Dude, I actually think they're synced on the swimming. Oh, not anymore, because Tyler got up and I was listening. I was like, dude, they're actually synced on the swimming cycle. What are the chances? But yeah, from now until Stradall, there's, I don't know, not a whole lot going on. Just some, preliminary stuff like call the elevator, drag Emma over, which, okay, yeah, it was a little earlier in that turn back, but you just drag her to the elevator so you don't have to use the coolant spray to get the bugs to go away. Then at the same time, when you get up the elevator, Plywood's going to drag him over on a diagonal, which is directly crossing right in between this guard, which is going to take a nap. I mean, I know it's late. He's tired.
Yeah, not too much going on. Plywood almost out of the core. Tyler just getting into the second part of the swimming section with Emma. Really, it would be a really big miracle if Tyler were to come back at this point. There's just not really anything left for significant time loss.
Let's see if Plywood's going to go for the Emma bump, which she is, and Emma made it
Good bump.
through. And also a good bump forward. I was about to say something about the Emma bump, but I think I'm just going to wait for both of them to get out first.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I get that.
Although I will say one other thing, which is still safe. I mean, it's not going to affect them, but there's like Emma bump on PC is for the most part pretty safe. As far as like not risking soft locking the game, but on HD collection, there's a very high chance that depending on how you push her through, if she lands on a somewhat specific line on the floor, she'll just fall right through into the ocean, and your game is pretty much over. Because you need her key card to actually get into Strut L to get her to the sniping section. which Plywood is about to get to pretty shortly, and Tyler's feed is also lagging for me. Or it could just be Discord being Discord, which wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
that would not surprise me at all. Just like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, Discord has been kind of crappy all day long, but this section is very boring. If you want to make $1,000, find a way to skip either the sniping section, the escort section, whatever. Give us a significant skip, time save. We got a bounty out for it. You can search on Reddit or join our Discord. We'll tell you about it and whatnot. $1,000. Find a skip in this game, and we could pay you.
That's a lot of dollars. All right, so they're both through now. So for some reason, when you do the Emma bump, there's a very small but likely chance that depending on how you push her through, she'll lose her balance, and depending on which side of the door she lands on when you do that, she'll either spawn in the next room with you or back in the shell where you just pushed her out of, which sadly happened to me, and actually it was in our race. You know, I was trying to pull something together, and then when she did that, it was like Emma just kind of put her stake on the run. It was like, yep, it's donezo. I don't know, stupid Emma. Oh yeah, about HD collection. Yeah, Emma above my HD collection is free, but it's very risky.
It ain't free. Free? It ain't free? I would hear that from an analog user, like free. No.
Yeah, it's free real estate, right? I mean, you know, you get the time save. I mean, so what if your game risks soft locking? I mean, it's the time save.
Oh my god. Ay, what am I gonna do with you, Joe? Like, ugh.
Looks like Plywood is spelling out his name. So the beauty of the sniping section on very easy is, you know, you don't have to worry about managing potassiumines for steady aim. The game just gives it to you anyway. You also get... Wow, that is very nice spelling. Yeah, Plywood's like, yeah, I did that. But what else? Yeah, so there's no claymores in any of the water bridges that you would normally see on other difficulties of MGS2. You also don't have to worry about as many guards and ciphers. There's actually no, there's like two portions where it's like, you know, like a break, like over like a minute. Yeah, so it's like once you get Emma up to like the first bridge, and she climbs up and over, then you get like a momentary break where there's no guards or ciphers kind of spawning in. You would have to deal with. And then you get it again when she gets up to the second bridge. But one thing you'll notice that both of them are just positioning themselves relatively somewhere at the spot where the thermal goggles spawn. We do this as a mitigation where, for some reason, if you stand too close to the water bridge that Emma starts on and you zoom your scope, or either one, there's a chance that Emma will slip and fall over, which will cost you... trying to think. I think it was between like 6 and 8 seconds. And it also depends on if there was an alert throughout any of this section as well, which can also lose you some time. Which for very easy, it's fortunate because, you know, the guard sight lines aren't as long and the ciphers aren't, you know, numerous. But still, it's just, you want this section to be as smooth as possible. No delays, no hiccups of any kind. But since it is a fairly long section, I mean, you know, if you're out there looking for skips and glitches and you could find a way to either make this section go by faster or just skip it outright, there's a bounty of $1,000 waiting for you.
I don't know about you. I like money.
I also like money. But you know what I also like? Using that analog on the EF connecting bridge.
Do you know what I like?
I'm probably gonna get...
I like ban buttons.
I was about to say, you're probably gonna ban me from like co-commentary for future stuff.
Analog and console bump and just oh my god.
I don't know. We're riffing. I mean, it's sniping, which again, there's a bounty out there for finding a skip, or even just a skip of any kind that's pretty significant throughout the game. Can I get an analog boy roll? Oh man, future relay team name: Team Analogs versus Team D-Padders.
It's not a bad idea, actually, but there's only like 2 people that actually analog like a crazy person, so.
Well, it used to be 3, but they kind of went over to the other side, as I call it.
Because they're smart.
But I guess you know what really matters though is, you know, while we disagree about using the EF Connecting Bridge analog or D-pad. Okay, nice vamp by Plywood. Just showing off the power of Turbo. Just turn it on, point it at him, and just let her loose. What I was about to say was, you know, there's the EF Connecting Bridge controversy, but then there's the One Cartwheel Club. And no matter what, I mean, One Cartwheel Club is the only way to go.
I agree. Like, 2 cartwheels is just a joke.
So now Plywood just finished his sniping section, making his way back to Shell 1. The danger with this segment here is that if you were to game over for any reason, either because the Cypher spotted you and you fell through the tiles, or whatever, it does not reset you in the room you were caught in like in the tanker. It sends you all the way back down to the hatch where you started. Which thankfully he made it through, and he got the swag cartwheel up those steps, which has been, I don't know if it's been like discovered, I would say like recently. It's been like a while now when it's been figured out like how to cartwheel up those steps without like taking a step or 2 up them first.
Mm-hmm.
But Plywood's now in Arsenal gear, and Tyler still got a little bit to go with his sniping. I mean, Emma's going to be making it over in probably like next 15-ish seconds.
You know this fellow?
I don't think I know that fellow.
Don't you? You've grown.
I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell because, oh, wait, maybe that's why he looked away.
High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered your memory?
Tyler going for the one-shot kill with Vamp, which is like a 1932 strat, but it works.
I mean, I'll give him props for just doing that. I mean, knowing where the race is, but if you're just saying, you know what, I'm just going to headshot the guy and be done with it, you know, I can respect that.
Olga, you can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen, I'll free you in a little while. Brace yourself.
See, Tyler trying to equip the AK going through that diagonal, which I don't think it was on the AK. Oh, it was on a sniper. Now he just swapped it back. Normally you would have to wait for a codec call from Rose, but we just speed it up by just calling her as soon as you just regain control of his right, and then you just get set free with Olga's help.
Oh, Tyler, no!
Doing?
He
Oh,
didn't.
dude,
He forgot to shoot. He just forgot to shoot.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh man, you hate to see it. But yeah, that's unfortunately what happens in this time section. It doesn't send you back in the EF Connected Bridge room. It sends you all the way to the bottom. Plywood doing the punch cartwheel setup, which you just punch the Tengu like as he turns around before the alert kicks in, as the alerts are instant when you're in Arsenal gear. It does not follow the not game over if discovered, or not really that, but the delay, rather, when you normally have a guard see you. Oh, yeah, I was trying to do the swag cartwheel up the steps. But yeah, probably made it through pretty cleanly. Now he's just waiting in ascending colon for the call from Rose, and then a special guest is going to join the run, give us a nice fancy gadget. See, and that special guest is, yep, you guessed it, Iroquois Plisk. Oh, I mean Snake. Yeah, so he gives us a sword. You just have to swing or stab it once, stay in the upper half of the hallway, and then it starts a 45-second timer of like, here's the sword, practice it for a bit, and then the game just moves on. Which again, if somebody finds a way to skip this or make it go by faster, $1,000 bounty. Nature's 0.
Alright, coming up on Tengu 1 for plywood. Maybe a slim chance at a PB, but that swim glitch he had early on is probably going to cost him that. Small chance at a 102, but played well otherwise. Tyler forgot who to call. Okay. And Tengu 1 from plywood.
I was gonna say something dumb, like as he asked that, but I don't think it matters anymore. But I was just gonna say, "Oh, you gonna call Ghostbusters?" Oh man, I'm trying. I'm trying. I mean, it's late.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to.
yeah. It's like it's about 1 a.m. Eastern right now where I'm at, so it is late.
All right, so Playa made it through Tengu 1 pretty cleanly. Now on to Tengu 2, doing the best switch setup, which basically you put yourself in the upper half section of the room where you're going to aim above you, which is going to be on an angle. I tend to like this setup personally. It gives you what I feel like is better trajectory for the missile to connect to the Tengus. And Tyler got an alert into Jim, and he fell through the gap.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Oh, dude, I didn't even notice it first because like they're both having like gunfire and alerts going off, and I was just looking over. I was like, wait, what's happening over here? Yeah, unfortunate.
The beauty thing is for Tyler that, yeah, he's on the bubble for making the playoffs. It's not going to knock him out. It's going to set up some drama, though, in Week 11, where it's likely going to be, unless Tyler pulls this out somehow, Mac McD versus Tyler. Winner to the playoffs, loser goes home. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, in effect, a playoff game on Week 11.
Not gonna lie, but that actually looks really cool what Plywood's doing. It makes it look like Brandon's crab walking with the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like everything else in this run, if you find a way to skip this, bounty.
Yep. 90 seconds we could save. We skip this.
But I've made use of you, and their plan too. Solid Snake's sudden appearance, your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase. You came in as bait.
Oh, Plywood's got his Nokia phone for this run today.
Yep.
Every day was absolute.
Yeah, I mean, he was really inspired by that Metal Gear Mobile run that we had in the T Marathon, really, which honestly, it actually was pretty neat. You know, even as a meme run. But enough about that. We got Raze. He's doing the standard setup where you aim at the middle, left raise, other mounts are open. Kills them instantly on VE for critical damage. There's the faster setup, which you aim for the middle right, and then quickly hit the leg of the ray on the left, and Tyler did not
Tyler,
get that
shoot the Tengu.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. Monka.
Wait, did that kick hit Snake and he still went through the door anyway?
Yeah.
I heard it hit him. Wow, this game sometimes, but
Weird
yeah,
game.
I think the aggressive race setup saves you like a second if you get it.
Yeah, a
Like
little
one
over
where
a
you aim,
second.
like middle, yeah, like
Yep.
middle left, or I'm sorry, middle right and then left.
Oh,
and Snake,
Tyler
Snake
blew
out of
up
the way.
Snake. Tyler's in a really weird spot, like in between the center of the room and Eswick. Like, this is just an awkward spot.
Yeah, and the Tengus are kind of like taking their time getting that, which I think
And
is just part of the
Tyler's
variance.
just spamming at this point. He just doesn't care.
Yeah. See, well, while he's doing that, Plywood now just getting into the last segment of the run, which is the Solidus fight. Nothing too crazy here, just, kind of a series of knocking him over a few times using the lethal side of the blade. It does the most damage. So he's going to knock him over once to bait out missiles, close the distance, and then knock him over a second time. Do the same thing. And then on this third knockdown, he's going to get to the other side of the roof as far away as he can. Doing so puts you in a position where Solidus will kind of zip opposite to where you are. So if you're on the other end of the roof, he'll do a shorter zip. If you don't close enough distance, or if you're not in the right spot, he'll just zip opposite to you with a slightly longer zip. All right, so phase 2 looks like he's going to go for the parry.
Oh,
And
he
gets
didn't get it.
slashed.
Nope.
Yeah, it's pretty weird when you're on an angle, especially when Solidus charges. So, okay, so there's the parry. So you just swipe your blade as
I'm sorry
Solidus approaches you. But yeah, that's time for Plywood, which
But I've made
uh,
use of you and their plan.
yeah, I don't know if it is on PB pace for him, but it was still a fairly decent run. I mean, just, nice and easy, no big kerfuffles, but I definitely look forward to the. I think he said it was Mac McD and Tyler.
Yeah,
For the
so yep, so it'll be winning you're in. No matter what, even if it goes into overtime or anything like that, no matter what happens, the winner of that match will be the 8th and final seed to be in the playoffs. The loser will be out. So that'll be a very, very exciting match. Yeah, winner take all. Oh, he went forward like it was Euro instead of VE. Oh, bad.
Oh, the muscle memory.
The muscle memory is bad. Well, got through it okay, but...
Are you awake yet, Jack? GW.
Meanwhile, with Plywood, this will be his 6th win of the season, move him to 6-3. He currently sits in the 5 seed right now. He has a chance, depending on scenarios, with the people above him, which is Joe, Platonic, and BMN. He could catapult all the way up to the 2 seed if things go right. So, definitely a lot to play for in the final week.
Yeah, and I think it's yeah, because this is finalizing week 10, and then after the holiday break is going to be the week 11, which is the final week of just the round robin phase right before the playoffs.
Yep.
Which I will be against Tino. Then we got Gogo, BMN, Makarov, and then Platonic Guy versus Plywood.
That's going to be a really, really good matchup. There's a lot to play for with that match. So, like, week 11 is going to be really good. I've wrapped up my season, so I'm not playing. That's my bye week, but all the matches are really good. I think they have a chance to have some really exciting matches. And we're going to try to have them all on the MDSR channel all in one big night. Tyler's having trouble. Alright. Really keeping his distance. Really keeping his distance.
It was a little close on that missile. Alright, I think he's just going to stay put. Yep.
Good work, Jack. But this is where it gets interesting.
Alright, so phase 2 for Tyler.
Let's go.
Looks like he's going to go for the parry, and he does get it. Nicely done. Then one more charge.
Ooh.
Oh, late on the swing.
Fortunate.
But, I still give props for anyone that tries, and that's time for Tyler.
That is time, so.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, it started off pretty much what I expected it. It was gonna be fairly close in the tanker. And then it just seemed like, like I said, a series of unfortunate events. It happens, and it just kind of, really got away.
Let's see if we can get somebody in here. I assume Plywood might. So we'll see.
What's up?
GG.
Yeah,
Vets.
Thanks.
yeah, GG's.
So, good run, pretty good run. Shame about the swim glitch
Yep.
abandonment, but otherwise a fairly decent run.
Yeah, that I don't think that killed my PB chance, but it was pretty smooth otherwise. Well, there's like some little weird stuff here and there. I lost focus in pump room, and then I had to do an adjustment, which I don't know why I I cannot lose focus when I go for that bomb. It's so bad.
Yeah,
But
it's a hard room.
like the way I do that, I have to go down left at just the right time, and if I don't do that, then I'm just completely off cycle. I was really worried too when I did the backup that I would have been off position, but it was fine. Um, but yeah, the things that I messed up in my PB yesterday, I didn't mess up, so I'm glad for that. Also, I think I understand why I had inconsistencies with 2.5, and I think it comes down to hitting the um the shot just before you do the overhead shot. You need to do that as quickly as possible. That way you hit the Harrier a little bit earlier. So like hold turbo or mash real fast. And I think it makes it more consistent. Because I was wondering why like it's so hot and cold, and I think that's why. Is
Im-
just making sure you get that shot as quickly as possible so you can get that overhead shot as soon as possible and then slow down the Harrier earlier.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then, but yeah, definitely an excellent Harrier for sure. Good M9 Fat Man as well. Nice to see you pull the Bad Boy strat off. It was pretty clean.
Yeah, this was I was much happier with this run than the one with B-Man. Shame what with Swim Glitch. I'm never shooting beforehand. No anticipation. No D-Limes memes for me anymore.
No
I was
tell or
about to
anything.
say,
Yep.
like, I think like D-Lime started something with this, like, shoot the
Yeah,
gun and tell us,
I'm
what's gonna
not
happen.
doing that. Not doing that anymore. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm doing it," and then, I had to abandon it, so it's like, "Alright, that was a good idea, huh?"
You win some, you lose some, but this'll put you in an interesting position from a playoff perspective. You're
I'm,
six
like, in
and
the middle of
three.
the pack.
Yeah, you're in a big cluster, so depending on the scenarios in the final week, you could get all the way up to the 2, or be as low as where you are right now. So very
That
interesting.
would be wacky. I'm not too sure what to expect coming into the, well, that's not happened for a couple weeks until January, but, um I don't wanna put myself out of possibility of winning against Platonic. Don't wanna limit myself. It's just gonna be a rough race, but I welcome the challenge.
I agree, but I think with the way you've been progressing in league and the practice you've been putting in and the little nuances you're just finding to making this run your own, I think you're more than capable of hanging with him. And we've seen Platonic have off days, questionable stuff. We've had some unfortunate technical issues, but I don't expect that out of him. Platonic can throw up a mid 103, like, or he could throw up a 101. You kind of get a mixed bag with Platonic sometimes in races, as talented as he is. So I think you have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, nothing against Platonic, but B-Man's a way scarier competitor
I
because
completely
he's just,
agree.
like, frighteningly consistent at getting 102s, and that kind of, uh, behavior will take them really far in the playoffs because consistency is king. And if you're consistently good, that's better than just being consistently okay.
Yep, pretty much. But with Tyler, though, it creates some interesting drama in Week 11. It'll be Tyler versus Mac McD. Winner take all, final seed in the playoffs. The loser goes home. That's cut and dry. There's no other scenario. They play, winner moves on. So
It's going to
that'll
be an
fun.
exciting race. I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
forward to that one.
Remember
Yep.
the mash.
It's a real shame what happened to Tyler during this race. There's some stuff I don't typically see out of him, but it was still a pleasure, man. All right. I think this is like a low 3. Yeah. 309.
Yep. About what I expected. I put down an 11 early, so that's about what I expected. But
Yeah, it was really that swim glitch. If I actually had a clean one cycle, I think this would have been a PB for
I think so
sure.
too. Yeah. Man, you cleaned
Yeah, I
up
mean,
late
definitely
game.
sub
So
103 at the minimum. Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
We'll just be waiting on Tyler's IGT to get this in the books officially, and then we will be off until the first week of January. We're actually looking to try to get all 5 races on the MGSR channel in one night. So we're going to do some finagling and organizing to try to make that happen. So looking at possibly January 9th or 10th, but we'll see. I'd love to make that happen. Plenty of time for you to get ready for Platonic.
Yeah. Well, definitely are gonna need some tricks up my sleeve for that one.
Well, I mean, I think as long as I'm not involved in racing anyway, I think Platonic will be fine.
Yeah.
Due
You're
to
like
the
a
technical curse.
Yeah, you're a magnet for tech issues. I mean, you even caused me to have to drop my stream. So like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, we both dropped frames though.
Yeah, but I dropped entirely. We had to pause.
Yeah, but like, I wasn't the one who decided to pause the game to tell Platonic to F off, just like what he did to you like weeks ago, and then just have the
Yeah,
game.
and I
It's not,
did
that's
that,
not
and
my
then
fault.
and then the feed dropped right when I did that. Like, oh my god, a D-pad for life. I don't care.
I know. I just felt bad for Platonic because, like, we were trading the lead back and forth throughout the entire run. There wasn't a moment to like relax with him.
No.
And then when I saw him just like stuck in that infinite 180, I was like, oh man, you just hate to see that. Like, you don't want to win like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. So happens. And any other final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll put in a little bit of sentiment that it's a very special moment for me to raise Tyler, who was the person that really originally taught me this game primarily. So thanks, man. Love ya. We're old heads. That was a baby MGS2 runner in 2017.
All right, IGT for Tyler.
No 637. So
637.
happy to get that off the screen as soon as possible. So.
It's like, let's get out of here.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this broadcast. 1 week left. Be sure to tune in, follow the links that you see in the description below, and hopefully we will see you first week of January for the final week of VE League. So take it easy wherever you are in the world and have a safe and wonderful holiday.